Matt, I've got to go to the finance because that seems to be the mystery. How financially stressed is Mr. Musk right now?
Well, a hell of a lot more financially stressed than he was just, 5 or 6 months ago. And inevitably, he's going to be under pressure from all sorts of people. Tesla shareholders, the bankers financing, the Twitter purchase, his co-investors in Twitter. Personally, I don't think that Elon Musk cares so much about the financial stress. He bet everything on Tesla a few years back. I don't think money is his primary motivation. So if he lost it all, I don't think he would be too stressed. So I think he's a very complex person to be dealing with as a co-investor or financer. So it's, you'd be pulling your hair out if you'd been lending money or co-investing with him in Twitter right now, I think.
Matt, to John's illusion there of the bankers behind Twitter at $44 billion, I'm going to guess 8 times sales as well. Do we have any knowledge of the debt construction or the equity preferred construction where they hold sway, they hold power, even if they're invisible and behind the scene?
Well, I think there's all sorts of complicated structures there. Margin calls, pressure on his Tesla shareholders. So I think share positions. So I think they for sure do hold sway to a degree on what happens here with Twitter. But I think it's a very curious way to run a business. Asking Twitter social media subscribers to vote on whether you should be CEO or not. I think if you're a banker or a co-investor, they're the people that he should be talking to about what the best thing is to do. And I think, to be honest, it's a bit of a sideshow because whether he's the CEO or not, he's clearly still going to be in the background influencing Twitter policy. So how reassured can you be as a Tesla shareholder that his focus is going to pivot completely away from Twitter? He's been obsessed with Twitter for years. I think it's difficult to imagine that obsession is going to just disappear overnight.
Well, this Twitter poll, to be fair, is just part of the antics that we've come to grow used to. There is also a lot of questions around what's going on behind the scenes with some of those bankers that might have led up to this. You said that perhaps he's not as financially stressed or that it isn't necessarily as important to him as we're making it out. Is there a sense of what kind of constraints he has in terms of debt repayments, interest payments that count in the millions of dollars, and whether that's at all tied to some of his share sales from Tesla, as well as some of the ongoing negotiations elsewhere?
Yeah. Personally, I don't have enough visibility into that and whether there's any immediate stress. I think that would be very surprising if there was right now, but it's clearly a consideration into the midterm. I think Twitter's been under pressure anyway in terms of the limited ad revenues. I think probably what's happened since he took it over is the revenue generation's probably shrunk because we've seen so many advertisers pull away from the platform, waiting for some stability in what Twitter is and what it's going to be. I think the last week, 2 weeks, month has added to the uncertainty rather than diminished it. And as you say, he said that he will abide by the poll, but we've seen so many twists and turns, new policies that Twitter has announced to be withdrawn within hours. So I think we're further away from stability for advertisers, which is 90% of Twitter's revenue than we've been ever since he took it over.
Some just update here, as we have certainly seemed to have passed that deadline. We are now officially at 57.5% for yes, he should step down as the head of Twitter, and 32.5%. No,
yeah, but California hasn't reported yet.